Well, thank you, Jake Gift. My name is Suzi Murphy. I am an inventor, an entrepreneur, a mom. I'm also the director of Kid Invent Mentors, and I will talk more about what we do. But basically, we support kids through the innovation process. And if you have an idea that you are really passionate about bringing to market and you have no idea how, we are here to help. And I'll talk a little bit more about that as we get into it. So I appreciate being here and presenting. I'm from Seattle, by the way. That was the other thing. Seattle, Washington, in the United States. So what do you think, Jake?
It's all yours.
It's all mine. Okay. Let me get to my screen. And I'm going to...
We see your screen.
You do?
We do.
Okay. How about now? All right. We're here to inspire, help you imagine, and innovate at Kid Invent Mentors. So imagine a world where kids become fearless inventors, where you can turn your cool ideas into reality. Change the future with your awesome inventions. Well, that world exists. These kids are you, and you are the future. Have you ever thought, I have an idea, but I'm just not sure what to do with it? I want my idea to be available for people to buy it, but I just have no clue how to bring it to market. Well, you're in luck. We can help. Our world is facing so many challenges. The more minds that we have to work on these ever-changing and challenges is the better. And so some of the things, as you can see them coming up on my screen, oceans, there's rising sea levels, and land, we've got rising temperatures, food scarcity, energy issues, we have water pollution, and so many animals and plants are losing their habitat. And we need inventors like you. So let's take a dive into the innovation process and how we can think through how we can solve problems, not just global, but all. So why do we need innovation and innovators? Well, we need them to solve our problems. We need them to help improve people's lives by providing quality of life and new products. We need new discoveries and advancements. One that you might have all heard about recently might be AI. Who knows where that's going to take us? What a ride we are on. And then inspiring others. As we innovate and brainstorm and think outside the box, we might get someone else to be inspired by us. I know Jake and Julie inspire all of us to continue down this path. So how do you do this innovation stuff? Well, you need to find a problem. What is the problem? What is frustrating you personally? What is frustrating you about the world? We need to think through, I really don't like that. And I think I would like to figure out a way to maybe do something about that. So we need to think about, why is it a problem, and determine what we can do about it. So the next slide you might expect is, we need to brainstorm. Think about the problem. Let's write down all the ideas we can come up with to figure out what we can think might be a solution. And then let's pare it down to like 4, and then eventually 1 usually floats to the top. After that, we need to research. So we've come up with this great idea, but does our solution already exist out there? If so, we can't copy. We need to find a way to make it a little bit different. Why is our solution going to help people? How's it going to impact their lives? We really need to understand the solution. And the only way to really know is through research. After that, we need to design. Warren, this is a specialty of his. So we need to design and sketch out. Okay, I have this idea. So, what is it going to look like? So you get out your piece of paper and you draw it out, and then you think about, well, how can I make it? I don't have a 3D printer at home, and I would like to make this. What could I do? Well, guess what, folks? All you need is some cardboard, some paper, some tape. That's a good start. And you start making it that way. Use clay. Anything that you have in your home that you can use, try to make it with those items and then just play with it and see, is it working how I want it to? What is it? If I do this, does it do that? And then you keep refining. I can tell you that most people who do inventions, the first one is not the only. There's probably several that you continue to work on and work on until you get it close enough to share. So after you have your ideas, it's a good idea to think about protecting it. So how does one protect your idea? I'm sure most of you have heard of patents. Well, there's something called a provisional patent. And the reason I wanted to touch upon it is because I feel like several people in this young innovator world don't necessarily know what that means. And what it is, a provisional patent is a document that you provide the United States Patent and Trademark Office, and it gives you, when you turn it in and they say they receive it, they give you something called a priority date. And this priority date is basically telling everyone that you were first in line with this idea. So that tells everyone you were first in line with this idea, and now you have 12 months to file a full patent. So you've given yourself this buffer of time in which you can file your full patent while you still do more to your invention. So some of the reasons that people and you could consider getting a provisional before you file for a full patent is full patents are very expensive. The other thing is you might not be sure if people are even interested in your product yet. And so this is a time in that 12-month period that you can shop it around. You can do redesigns before you pay for an attorney to help you file a full. So this is a good amount of time to give yourself an opportunity to test the water, as they say, before you go full in on a patent. Because if you file a full patent and you find that people aren't interested, or and you've spent all this money, it would be better to do some testing. Okay, now we were talking about global issues, and I wanted to show you, to inspire you, there's some really cool inventions out there, and one of these could be yours, or a variation, obviously. So here are some environmental issues and some really cool things that people have come up with, and I know all of you are super creative, and so I am looking forward to seeing what you can come up with. This is a bubble barrier, and basically what it does is it prevents the trash from reaching the ocean. So these bubbles keep all the plastics on this side so that they can be collected. It's really a really brilliant solution. Drones, these drones plant seeds. So somewhere that a fire might have hit, they need to be replanted. Well, those fires get to be very large. So these drones just nicely help all of our friends who take care of the forest drop seeds all over, and guess what starts to grow? More trees, which we desperately need. This is a carbon dioxide remover. It takes the carbon dioxide out of the air and it puts it into the ground, and it turns into stone to get it out of our air. I mean, that is pretty cool. That took a lot of thinking, but I think that's pretty amazing. So a lot of us like meat, but it is a huge polluter. And so I don't know if I'm going to eat lab grown meat, but this is what it could look like. So it looks pretty real. So who knows? One day we may all be eating these hamburgers or steak. And then the other view that I've given as examples is this is an ocean cleanup project where these two boats essentially pull this netting and it collects the pollution within the ocean. And then I think once a week they come together, these ships, and they pull it all up, and then they take it onto the boat, sort it out, and put it into the appropriate recycle containers. And then artificial reefs are helping to bring back some of our ocean ecosystem. So these are amazing things, and you are all very capable and bright in making these yourself. But I wanted to give you some inspiration of things that exist. So here at Kid Invent Mentors, we nurture your creativity, we help you grow, we provide you the tools and guidance to bring your ideas to life. We have an Ascent program. So if you don't have a specific idea but want to learn about innovation, no problem, we can teach you. And in that program, we focus on the very thing that I was just talking about, which is global problems. So you will pick a global problem and we will work through it while you're learning the innovation process. And who knows what you may come up with. It may be something that we'll see in the future. And then the other program we have is if you already have a product that you have ready to go, but you don't know how to bring it to market, we teach you step by step. And once you learn that process, you can use it for any innovation going forward. So we are here to help and guide, and this is us. Give us a call, and I really appreciate your time. Thank you. All right, Jake, is there questions? I went through it quick.
Hi, Susie. This is Michelle.
Hey, Michelle.
I'm aware of your program. And one of the things I was wondering is this ongoing, or do you have like a specific timeline? You know, how do students participate with your program?
Oh, in the different programs? So they're either, there's a 12 session and a 10 session. So depending on which one. So if you, several people are interested in innovation, but they just don't know how to do the steps. And so I call it the Ascent program, which I had up on the screen. And basically, again, though all those things that we identified, which is the ocean, the land, etc., I have the students go through, identify one of those, and then I have them research the problems, and then I want them to brainstorm solutions. And then we take them through, let's make a product, and what does that look like, and take you through making a sell sheet, a pitch video, etc. Like, how do you then take this idea, prototype it, and bring it all the way? And then the summit program is, I've just recently judged several competitions. Amy knows I was on one of hers, of these brilliant inventors, and a lot of them are ready to take it somewhere, and they just don't know how, and it can be really daunting, and there's a lot of missteps along the way. Like, people think they have to contact a manufacturer in China and take on all this responsibility and start a business, and the parents are pulling their hair out because they're like, I don't know that I have time for a kid business and this. And so there's several ways to do it that you can rent your idea to a company, and there are ways to show them what you have available. So so it isn't as scary as most people think and overwhelming. So I'm hoping I'll help communicate that.
So you work with individual students and their families, and not necessarily with schools?
Not yet. I'm planning to take that ascent program to schools, but I'm still in the process of working through that. That's the goal.
Great. Well, sounds pretty exciting and
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate the support.
right.
Definitely
Wow,
something.
Susie.
Oh.
Go on, Amy.
Hi.
Hi.
Definitely
Hey.
something that is needed, and I wish I would have known you, 10 or 15 years ago. I've done invention convention with my students forever, and even my personal children did it. And two of the inventions that they did way back are now on the market by other people,
Yeah.
and it's like, if we had had more guidance, I think we knew about a provisional patent, but you just get caught up in the day to day
Yes.
and, you don't pursue it and then time slips away and then you
Yes.
see it by somebody else and you're like, darn, I should have done that,
Yeah.
So, I think there are a lot of parents that just don't know how to take those next steps, or the same thing. They just get caught up in their family and the day to day, and then it slips away. But I think there's a lot of opportunity, and your business is definitely needed.
Oh, well, thank you. Yeah, I mean, as an inventor too, I mean, I was like, I have these ideas. I guess I have to go to China. Oh my gosh, what? How expensive is this going to be? I have to get a patent. Everyone thinks patent straight away, and that isn't the case. I luckily kind of found my path, but there is such a better path that you don't have to like mortgage your house, and you can like take it in pieces. And then anything you learn, what's great about learning in general, and I know you're an educator, Amy, is you'll never lose that information, and it's basically rinse and repeat to the next thing, especially for serial inventors. Something like this is really great because to take a product all the way, now you have a business and there's a lot of responsibility to run it all the time. And if you're a creative mind, you have more ideas. And now you're like, but I can only have this one right now, because if I want to do that one, oh my gosh, now I have to mortgage my other house that I don't own yet. So, so there are ways, and I'm hoping I can take some of the stress away, is what I'm hoping.
It might even be something you can market to teachers to help their students.
Yeah, I'm really looking into hoping to create a program that could be used at universities, schools. And so I'm on my way, and I've got it all ready. I just haven't sent it off to that group yet. So baby steps for me at the moment. But yeah, right now individuals, and it's definitely on the horizon soon. So thank you both for your support, and Warren for being always my support in Australia.
Thank you.
Great.
Actually, a question I was going to ask Susie was if you had many parents approach you about their kids, because what I've seen is that a lot of parents have like quite creative children and they don't kind of know where to go. So do you work with, you find you're working with parents and their kids, or if parents approach you about bringing their kids into a program like yours?
I have had parents approach me. I am working with kids, and it's funny because I thought I'm just going to probably work with kids, right? But most kids who come to me, their parents are very curious about this process as well. So they sit in on it and they're learning as a family. So I find that super rewarding that now I'm not only teaching their children, but I feel like it's a family project that they're all working on as well. And so I think it's great. And I think a lot of the kids that I'm seeing, their parents are innovators who never really found their path either. So who knows where it will bifurcate or if they'll stay in one line, but it's super rewarding. And I had some kids that I was working with that really felt defeated, that they're like, we innovate all the time and we just what's the point? We don't know what to do anymore. And I can see the spark has been relit, and I've checked in with the mom. We have check-in sessions, and she was really grateful that her kids are really inspired again to get back inventing when they thought all hope was lost. So I'm really happy that I was able to provide that for them.
That's great.
Thank you.
One of the things that I used to run into when I was doing invention programs a while ago was that when parents got involved and the invention itself was not terribly unique or not, didn't hit all the parameters to be a patentable idea, that the parents were had incredible expectations. And how do you handle that? The parents are like, oh, this is, the best thing ever. And
Oh, the best. Well, so the thing is, when you go through this process, I think we all, when we come up with an idea, we're like, oh, it's the best thing ever. No one's ever done it. It's my baby. When you force someone to research, truly research, and see what's out there, and then make them ask the question, like, how is mine really different? Who, what, when, where, why? Like, who's going to use it? When? Why are they, etc. When you really force them to answer those questions instead of having this big picture that it's just wonderful, and you have to take it and kind of chunk it out to really appreciate what you have. And I mean, if it's too similar, or if there isn't a unique enough feature, you won't get a patent on it. I mean, you have to be different. It can have a similar functionality, but there might be a unique piece within the product that is a patentable feature that now you can get a patent on. So you have to have that uniqueness, and really, you have to think about your customers. It's not just, I have this cool idea and people are just gonna love it because grandma said so. That's not how it works. You have to think about, well, how many people use this type of product, right? So if I made something for shoes, everyone wears shoes, right? So like, my ability to be enticing to a big group of people is pretty large, like, or something that everyone's house has. But if it's something like golfers, nothing against golfers, I love them and there's a lot of them, but that's more niche-y. So that's the other thing you have to think about. Like, you have to think about your audience, and then you have to research those people. Like, if there's a laundry product, you probably want to research women, moms. What do they like? What do they not like? And try to get more information. The more information you have, the more you can refine. And the other thing is, I do talk through, like, we have to figure out how to refine what you're doing, because back to our research, this is too close. So now you got to go back and brainstorm again. So there's several points through this process where you have to rethink. I mean, after you do a patent search, you might have got through your research, but then you did a patent search and you're like, oh no, that thing is there. Well, now we have to go back again. So there's several times that you go back and you're like, oh, now it's time to tweak this or tweak that. We have to make it different. So it's a constant evolution before it's ready to be presented to any potential customers, if you will. Did that answer your question? I hope.
Just wanted to hear you talk about it, because there are some people who might not understand that. So that's
yeah. Thank you for asking. I appreciate that. Any other questions? Warren, you have anything? You've been in this game a long time, since I dragged you on the call.
No, you didn't drag me. I willingly came on. It's you touched on a very good point, I thought, about customers first, because like being an inventor, sometimes it's like you say about, my invention is the best thing since sliced bread, and it's the best thing. But I always find, particularly these days, is that I with new ideas, I go to the customer first, and I try and look at it from the customer's point of view. And when you start to do that, sometimes you come up with different answers for the direction your event or, you know, your invention goes. And that's why I think, you know, what you were talking about, the research is really the key to it. And it starts to give you an insight into your customer's mind. How many do you think you might sell? It kind of gives you some real data to go on as to whether it is worthwhile pursuing, or you know, possibly you may want to go in another direction. So I think it was really good. You know, it was really heartwarming kind of how you brought up about the customer and start to look at it from the customer's point of view, because inventors, we don't necessarily always do that.
We don't
It's
want to
like
know
it's
it.
our baby. And so we don't see it, you know. So yeah, I thought it was a great point. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah. The customer, as they say, is always right? And so if we understand our customers,
Absolutely.
everything else kind of falls in place, because if we don't understand them, then they will never be interested in what we have to offer. So anyway, any other questions? I know we're running short on time here.
So just as people will see this on YouTube and whatever, how could they reach you, and what would be the best advice you would give them?
How can they reach me? So kidinventmentors.com. I have a website. I offer a 1-hour free consultation. And so if they have an idea and they just want to talk, I'm happy to just sit and chat and see where they're at and give them some ideas of where to go. And if they want to work with me, great. If not, I'm happy to still do the 1-hour call and just give some advice. And then it's up to everyone to make a decision that works best for them. So I'm hoping I'll see some folks, but if not, maybe next time. And I appreciate just being able to present today.
Thank you so much for sharing.
Thank you all.